Today we'll be making a meal that shows you just how simple, affordable, and delicious paleo for the whole family really can be. Pan-seared chicken, creamy tomato sauce, whipped sweet potatoes, 5-minute rainbow slaw salad, and some superfood chocolate bark for dessert. Stay tuned to the end of today's episode where you'll discover how to win one of my favorite kitchen tools that will help you prep beautiful fresh fruits and veggies in no time flat. I'm your host, Camille Macries, paleo chef, lover of good food and vibrant health. Each week, Camille's Paleo Kitchen brings you special guests, recipes, fun tips and tricks, along with a giveaway of one of my favorite kitchen tools that will leave you inspired and excited to cook at home for you and your family. It's all happening now on Camille's Paleo Kitchen.
Pardon, I didn't perceive your presence. Paleogasm. An explosion, a paroxysm of passion in your pie hole that provides prodigious pleasure for people who practice and prefer a perfect paleo paradigm. What we have now is a cookbook that takes all of my skills and my training for the last 10 years as a chef. The recipes are delicious. They leave you feeling great for a lifetime of delicious paleogasmic health.
Hey there, everybody. My name is Camille Macries, and welcome to this first episode of Camille's Paleo Kitchen. I am so honored to be here with you in your home today. So I would love to start out by just sharing some of my story with you. I have always loved food. Ever since I was a little girl, before I could even walk, I would crawl up to the refrigerator, open the door, and gnaw on sticks of butter. So from there, by the time I was 7 or 8 years old, I was cooking with my mom in the kitchen. Now, I didn't think that it was okay or acceptable to become a chef because I had a degree in economics, but after a year of working in the real world, behind a desk in an office, I had already had enough. And so I quit my job and promptly declared myself a private chef. Soon thereafter, I actually learned that I had food intolerances to things like gluten, dairy, and soy. I went to the doctor and I found out that I had adrenal fatigue and a low thyroid. And that very same day, a friend of mine recommended that I read Rob Wolf's book. And I literally devoured that book in 2 days. It made so much sense. And so I said, I'll give it a try. And for 4 full days, I ate totally perfectly clean paleo. And I felt like a completely different person in 4 days. The mission of Camille's Paleo Kitchen is to inspire you to get back in the kitchen or even into the kitchen for the first time so that you can begin making the kinds of meals that make you feel really, really good and taste super awesome. So this first recipe is a dark chocolate superfood bark. So let me tell you guys what I got. We have these really nice, these are Enjoy Life mini chocolate chips. I really like these because they don't have some of the weird stuff that other chocolate chips have it. I did the mini chips because they are going to be a lot easier to melt. We also have cacao nibs, some shredded coconut, some sprouted pumpkin seeds, and some goji berries. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to melt these in the microwave in 30-second intervals. So I will be back with my melted chocolate. All right, I have our delicious chocolate all melted. Just gonna and then I'm just gonna spread it as evenly as possible. Don't gotta get all crazy about it. And then we're just going to sprinkle all of our yummy little toppings on top. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of salt now. I just really like the way salt tastes with dark chocolate, not too much. But I'm gonna put it down now just to make sure that it actually gets onto the chocolate. Got a touch of salt. There's other things you could add to this if you wanted. You could put some some chili powder or chipotle powder, even ginger. You could, chopped up ginger would be really nice. Again, like most of my recipes, this is a template. This is a jumping off point. If you like other stuff in your bark, then you should put other stuff on your bark. Anyways, there we have our goji berries. Now we have our cacao nibs to make it extra crunchy and chocolatey. And then our dusting of coconut. And there we have that. So now I'm just going to pop this in the refrigerator for a couple hours until it's fully hardened. And there we have our dark chocolate superfood bark. It is delicious. It is super good for you. It's loaded with antioxidants. It's not going to leave you feeling weird like a glutinous dessert will. And yeah, it's just pretty awesome. Now I'm going to show you this ridiculously easy one-pot chicken recipe. So I have this really great electric skillet that I've actually been preheating for several minutes. So it's really, really nice and hot. And it's going to help me get a really nice sear on the outsides of my meat. We're going to use a little bit of this coconut spray because this is good at high heat, okay? So I'm just going to give it a little tiny spray. I'm going to add in my chicken. Ooh, you hear that sizzle? You want to keep the lid off. If I was to put the lid on right now, all of the juices would suck back underneath and it wouldn't turn brown. So I will cover it to cook it faster, but first I'm going to get a nice sear. So there's some salt. But so right now, I'm just going to set this aside as it sears and just let it be. And then we're going to start working on our sweet potatoes. Now I'm going to work on my sweet potatoes, 3 to be exact, and that I've already pre-cooked at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. So I'm just peeling my sweet potatoes. Pretty easy because they're already so soft. You could also, I think you could probably do this with a veggie peeler too. You could scrape it off with your hands. You could scoop it out with a spoon. Whatever suits your pleasure. I'm just going to give them a rough cut. And now give my chicken a flip. Oh my word. Look at that. If that ain't perfect, I don't know what is. It's looking nice and crispy. So I'm actually just going to add all of the rest of the ingredients to my chicken. Touch of butter. You can use ghee, of course, if you don't do well with butter. I'm going to saute up these onions. Just going to give that a second so the onions, we want the onions to be able to be, get sort of roasty and caramely before we add everything else in. It shouldn't take long though because this pan is nice and hot. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you a really fun, simple way to peel ginger. So I'm just going to take the back of the spoon. I'm just going to run my knife or my spoon down. And I like this better than using something like a veggie peeler because a peeler seems to take away a lot of the valuable ginger pulp. We don't want to do that. Again, I'm just going to give this a bit of a rough cut. I really like ginger, so I'm going to put in a fair amount and chop this up real quick. My onions are cooking and they are ready to be turned away. Wow, this pan is really cooking for us. So we're making our simple creamy tomato sauce. So I'm going to add my 3 fresh tomatoes. And I have my garlic cloves. So this whole sauce is actually going to be run through a blender. So I'm just going to do these. Actually, I'll give them a little bit of a chop. And just to show you how to take the skin off of these, this isn't, usually you would use a bigger knife, but I'm just gonna smash this down, and then you can much more easily peel your skin away. Throw that in. It's also really important, some recipes I see, they'll put the ginger, or the garlic and the onions in at the same time. And I really don't think that's a good idea, because onions, if they get like really dark and crispy, they're still going to taste okay. They can even be like almost charred black and taste okay. Garlic, on the other hand, if you burn a piece of garlic, you may have to throw the entire dish out, because the flavor of the garlic becomes so pungent and gross that it can ruin the entire dish. So I like to add the garlic in much later in the process to make sure that that doesn't happen. So you'll see, if you look in here, this is really important, because this is where we're developing a lot of the flavor. See, is right here where we have this nice brown caramelization, and this is actually the umami flavor, and you develop umami flavor by browning meat. Actually, tomatoes have umami, but this flavor is going to create such a delicious taste in the sauce. I'm just going to put the lid on this. So right now I'm turning the temperature all the way down to 180 degrees. And what's going to happen, because it went from 450 and it's dropping down to 180, that temperature change is actually going to create a vacuum suck, sort of like a pressure cooker. And it's going to cook our meat in a fraction of the time. It's super cool. So this little clicking that you will hear, this is actually a temperature gauge. Salad Master is the only cookware that will actually tell you if this is clicking, your food is above 185 degrees, which is where you lose some of those heat-sensitive vitamins. This is going to click a little bit, but you're going to notice it's going to stop as it sucks all in. It's pretty cool. Let me just set that aside. And so to that, I'm going to add our yummy melted Kerrygold butter. I'm going to add all of our sweet potatoes. I'm not going to stick my fingers back in the salt now that it has yams all over it. I'm just going to give us a little touch of salt. And a little bit of orange zest. This is just going to be really, really nice. The ginger and the orange, they really, really accentuate the flavors of the sweet potatoes. Now I'm going to take half of the juice. I like to put my hand over this again. If you have a little sieve, you can do it, but I just like to squeeze the juice over my hand, just so that we can capture any seeds. So that should, woo! Scrape down the side. Yeah, and now I'm going to add just a touch of honey. It doesn't need a whole lot because the orange is sweet and the sweet potato is sweet, but the honey is nice because it serves in the same way that salt accentuates flavors. This honey is actually just going to accentuate the flavors of the sweet potato and the orange. That's why we're using this recipe. Okay, we're gonna call that good. Now these are cold at this point, so we're gonna obviously wanna heat these back up before you serve. But there we have our really, really yummy ginger orange sweet potatoes. All right, now it is time to make our 5-minute salad. So my salad master machine actually, so it has 5 different blades, which are sort of similar to the blades of the food processor. So you can totally use that. And again, with your slicer, if you're using a food processor, you can do this as well. And I'm gonna just do a little bit of yellow cabbage. And then I'm gonna do some red cabbage. So now I'm putting on this other cone here, and I'm just gonna grate up some carrot. And now the thing that's really great about this salad is just all of the diversity with the flavor. So the cabbage is a little bit spicy. Carrots, of course, are crunchy and sweet. The whole salad is crunchy, but I like to add a little bit of apple to it. So we can actually just use the whole apple. So now I just have 4 radishes. And radishes, of course, are spicy. I'm gonna pop these in the back and use my little hand guard here. So you saw how I used the hand zester to get the zest off of the orange. I'm actually gonna do the zest off of the lemon. So this is actually gonna make the salad dressing right now. This lends just really nice brightness having the zest in the salad. You wanna make sure that you don't get the white, because that's the pith and that's bitter. So I'm just trying to get just the yellow off. And then I've already taken off a lot of the zest of this orange, but let's see if we can get a little bit more. Now I'm just gonna give it a little squeeze. So I'm actually, this now is our really light, simple salad dressing. Touch of salt, touch of pepper. Just get a nice drizzle of olive oil. Oh, I love this salad so much. I can't wait for you to try this at home. Once you get your hands on a food processor or a salad master machine, you're gonna be making the salad like every day. And I have a little secret that I'm going to reveal to you. We're actually gonna be giving away one of these salad master machines. And I'm gonna tell you how you can win it at the end of the episode. So there you have it. There is our 5-minute slaw.
You get to feel better fast, lose weight, and prevent and reverse chronic disease without drugs. What could be better than that?
Okay, the moment that we've all been waiting for, the unveiling of the chican. Let's see, that's the cool thing about the little bit of the pressure thing, is it like it's sort of hard to lift. So I'm just gonna take these chicken breasts out, sit them on the side while we make our sauce. But you can see that the all of this brown here, this brown is from the cooking of the chicken and really taking the time to develop that searing and that flavor, and it really pays off. I mean, it smells so good in this kitchen right now. Now, I'm using a Vitamix. I think Vitamixes are great. They help make sauces really, really nice and creamy. Obviously, it's not essential, but I'm going to take all of this And now, instead of cream, I'm going to do something special. And this is something that I learned back for the 6 weeks that I was a raw vegan years ago. I took some raw cashews and I soaked these for about 4 hours, and I got them nice and plump. And so what happens there because of that is they take on a really creamy texture when you blend them with liquid. So I'm just going to start with a couple of handfuls and begin blending. Always want to start with Vitamixes. They're really powerful. Always want to start on low and work your way up. And really important, since this is so hot, you always want to be able to give the steam a place to release. I have had more explosions with my Vitamix than I care to admit because I haven't allowed the steam to come out. So taking a rag and putting it over the top is going to be your best bet to allow it not to, you don't want it to explode. So there you have our delicious cream sauce. I'll show you. Well, you'll get to see how delicious and creamy it is when we plate up the dish. So now we have all of our components together, and all we need to do is plate everything up and show it to you. So something that I am really excited to be able to do in Camille's Paleo Kitchen this season is give away some of my favorite kitchen tools every episode. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because this show is not just about you sitting and watching. It is about you getting into the kitchen and trying out these dishes that we make. The way that I am going to nudge you a little bit to do that is with these awesome contests. So all you need to do to enter to win this awesome Salad Master machine that you have been seeing used all throughout this episode is make one of the dishes here today. When you make that, you're going to take a picture and you're going to upload it to Instagram, #PaleoGasm. So from there, head on over to paleokitchen.tv to see who the winner was. And of course, most importantly, to see if you were the winner. And check out what's happening on next week's episode. I'm going to give you a little hint. Next week, we are going to be talking all about paleo on the go. And in next week's giveaway, we're going to be giving you everything you need to rock your paleo lifestyle on the go. Thank you so much for being here. I loved sharing this meal in this first episode with you, and I cannot wait to see you again next week. Bye-bye.